And once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Independent School District 196, we welcome you to Eagan High School, to Wildcats Stadium, and tonight's South Suburban Conference boys varsity soccer game between the visiting Tigers from Farmington High School and your Eagan Wildcats. The officials have led the teams onto the field for the introductions. Our officials for tonight's game, the center referee is Saeed Ruzagar. The assistant referees are Mike Hoffman and Stephen Cordy. And now let's meet the starting lineups for this game. First, the starting lineup for the visiting Farmington Tigers. Starting with the goalkeeper, junior number 0, Drake Anderson. Defense, junior number 3, Brody Malcheski. Defense, senior number 5, Kelvin Rosati. Midfield, senior number 7, Alex Heath Garrett. Forward, junior number 10, Jose Ruiz. Forward, junior number 12, Timothy Iancheski. Defense, junior number 15, Matt Hanley. Midfield, sophomore number 17, Aiden Roach. Forward, senior number 20, Mua Okongo. Forward, junior number 22, AJ Vinar. Forward, senior number 28, Luke Wegworth. The Tigers' assistant coach is Marco Macias. The head coach of the Farmington Tigers is Thomas McMillan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our visitors to Wildcat Stadium this evening, the Farmington Tigers. And now here is the starting lineup for your Eagan Wildcats. Starting with the goalkeeper, and he is junior number 1, Zach Rojas. Midfield, senior number 2, Captain Sion Tapa. Forward, senior number 3, Darius Knox. Midfield, junior number 6, Owen Gentilla. Forward, sophomore number 9, Zayan Oliath. Midfield, senior number 10, Miklo Jones. Midfield, junior number 11, Eric Knoll. Defense, senior number 20, Grant Paulson. Midfield, senior number 21, Captain Blake Prouty. Midfield, senior number 22, Noel Eddy. Defense, junior number 24, John Tesdall. The Wildcats assistant coaches are PK Anand and Micah Anderson. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Josue Botuli. Ladies and gentlemen, your Eagan Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the national anthem will be presented. Performing the national anthem this evening will be Caden Brasso, a senior at Eagan High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Caden. We'll ask the visiting Farmington Tigers now to greet the game officials and the Eagan Wildcats. And now the Eagan Wildcats will greet the game officials. Good luck to both teams in tonight's game. We'll be underway shortly.
Welcome to Wildcat Stadium here at Eagan High School for today's boys varsity soccer match between the Farmington Tigers and your Eagan Wildcats. My name is Skip Newton, joined alongside my broadcast partner Nathan Cron. Nathan, the last home game was a surprising loss, 1-0, but it's been all Eagan Wildcats since that game.
Well, the Wildcats have cemented their hold right now on a top spot here, not only in the section but also in the conference. Wildcats have eyes on a prize much bigger even than that, a section title, a conference title. They're looking to go a little bit farther. For the Farmington Tigers, they have struggled some this year. They've had some trouble scoring goals, and they're looking to get to rebound here against a very tough Eagan team. Well, everything to play for both of these sides is they're both looking to improve their section seeding and their opportunities to advance through their section playoffs.
Yeah, it's amazing that we're talking about sections because this season goes so quickly, and all of a sudden you realize it's September 26th. Next week is the last week of the regular season, so just 3 or 4 conference games or non-conference games left really going in for these varsity squads and to get ready for that big section. And of course, these boys under Coach Butali have had success in the regular season. They won the conference his first season as head coach. They took second place last season, but both seasons ended in section disappointment. Obviously, ranked 5th in the state, that's something they are definitely looking to change up this year. We are underway. Wildcats, as usual, wearing their home blue. They're going left to right. The visiting Tigers from Farmington wearing their road whites, going right to left. As I said, it's a warm day, 80 degrees here. Early fall day in Minnesota. Clear skies. There is a bit of a breeze down on the field, depending on where you're at. Some of the flags look like they're blown around quite a bit. Other ones, not so much. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that plays any factor whatsoever. Noel picks the pocket of the Tiger. Now he's playing up for Knox. Knox did not start the season at forward, but he's entered that starting lineup as of recently. Finds himself second in the team lead in goals scored with 6.
Well, he's one of Coach Butali's shiny toys that score goals. I mean, it's amazing on this team, and you and I have talked about it before, Skip. The interchangeability of so many of these pieces, whether they're forwards or wings or center midfielders, and I think that really lends a lot of strength to this squad. If one guy's not having it or one guy's not feeling it that night for shooting purposes, 2 or 3 other players seem to pick him up.
Yeah, he's established a nice depth in that rotation, both at the midfield and forward position. Depth going to be tested a little bit tonight, as we were noticing pre-game, Hannon Axelrod in street clothes on the bench, so will not have his services tonight. He's been one of the mainstays in that rotation. We've got right defensive back Sion Tapa ready to throw this one in. On the back line, Noel Eddy, Grant Paulson on the far side. Jonathan Tesdahl, one of the center backs as well. Owen Gentilla trying to track that one down, but it'll result in a goal kick. Mentioned Darius Knox up front on the far side. We've got Zion Oliat, Eric Knoll, one of the center mids, very active, team leader in goals and assists, 7 goals, 9 assists. So having a great season thus far is Eric Knoll. Blake Prouty and Miklo Jones also in the middle, rounding out your starting 11 for the Wildcats. This is Prouty. Slipped a little bit. May have cost him the possession, but does a nice job winning that one back. Tesdahl played it from Eddy back to Tapa. Nice run by Noel. Tried to slide it over to Gentilla. Couldn't quite get there. Nice defensive play there by the Tigers. Gentilla thought he had won the throw, but the AR on that side saying it went off of his foot, so he was the last one to touch.
Farmington Tiger defender Aiden Roach, crafty play there as Gentilla thought that was going to be his throw.
And now the Wildcats get the throw.
I got it. Now the Farmington starting lineup is Anderson, Miklashevsky, Rossetti, Heath Garrett, Ruiz, Ian Chesky, Hanley Roach, Okongo, Vinar, and Wegworth. Your starting 11 for the white-clad Tigers.
Whistle, call the Wildcats free kick for the Tigers.
First foul of the match here early leaves a free kick for the Tigers. They play it deep.
It will be interesting to see here, Skip Newton, the Tigers' approach offensively against a top 5, top 6 defensive unit here for the Wildcats. The Tigers have, as I said, struggled to score goals. In their last 10 games, they have scored a total of 8 goals, including being shut out 5 times. So those statistics, that trend is not a trend line that tends to do very well generally in high school soccer, and certainly not when you're matched up against the top 5 team. So the Tigers really need to get on the board, and frankly, they need to get on the board early.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for the Tigers, and really for many opponents against the Wildcats. The Wildcats have had a lot of success this season scoring early. Oh, that was a nifty play there by Gentilla. Let it go through. Unfortunately, Tapa was not quite in a position to take advantage. Had that gone, Tapa would have had some space. But as I was saying, the Wildcats have tended to jump out to leads, and then they play so well with a lead. And it really does change the complexion of the match if the Tigers can somehow score first. But so far, both teams, no pressure really on the back line or on the goalkeepers, no shots as of yet. Really all the action in the middle third here. Through ball did not get past Eddie. Nice job blocking that pass.
Interesting to see the lineup. Interesting to see this formation. Tigers with what I would call a 4-3-3. Wildcats look to have dropped their outside wings back into the midfield a little deeper, so almost giving them a couple of extra players in the midfield. Now, of course, Knox is a bit on an island out there by himself, but perhaps the Wildcats are going to have better success controlling things in the middle of the park because they seem to have the Tigers outnumbered at this point in the match.
Interesting to see Knox up front and not Jake Sondag, one of the really stalwarts on this Eagan team for the last 3 years. I mean, this is his 3rd season on varsity. One of the co-captains, has a lot of speed, a lot of ability to create things up front. I'm sure he'll get into the rotation later. Here's a nice over-the-head ball to Oliat, but well played defensively on the far side there by the Tigers. Cleared but kept in. Prouty in the middle. Gentino turns. Nice job getting past a few defenders, but his pass is a miss, but right back to the Wildcats. Eagan controlling possession for the most part here early. Holiot into the middle, into the box. Knoll makes a move, passes across, and in the far side, it's a goal! Eric Knoll just passes it into the far corner. The pass from Oliat, and the Wildcats jump out to a 1-0 lead here in the 7th minute.
That was an innocuous little run. Honestly, Eric Knoll kind of took himself out of a good shooting position there, Skip, as he continued to drive the end line. I thought he was going to send that back negative across the 6-yard box. Instead, he pokes it through. You could see him with his head up, looking to see, okay, where am I? Where do I have a lane to shoot? He obviously did have a lane to shoot, and he cashes in. He's the leading scorer for the team. You can't bet against him.
Yeah, it was a great play. And if you saw what he did, he got possession, and he was not rushed. He didn't panic. He's very calm and collective in there, and he was able to get possession, and really he just passed that ball into the far corner. Just a beautiful finish there by Knoll.
In the 7th minute of the game.
So as we've seen a lot this season, the Wildcats strike first.
Wildcats goal scored by Eric.
Of course, they're immediately looking to put the pressure on. Here's Knoll again. Holiot outside in the penalty area, plays it across, the shot.
Goal kick, Farmington.
Just wide. Nice defense there by Farmington as the Wildcats look to get another one on the board early.
There was contact
Wildcats.
in the penalty area. Risky for the Tigers, but they got it right, and as a result, the Wildcats will have to settle for a goal kick for the Tigers, and this is a curious situation here for the Tigers.
They played the goal kick short, and it almost cost them. Some nice pressure deep by outside mid/attacker Zayan Oliat. Assist on that Knoll goal just a minute ago. Tesdall plays it long. Nice flick by Knox, but no one's there wearing blue. Defense will play that into touch. That was Matt Hanley back there, one of the captains for the Farmington Tigers. Good throw to the middle, Miklo Jones. Open with space. He'll fire the left foot shot. Sneaky towards the far corner, but a nice diving save.
Goal save for Drake Anderson.
Well, good save by Anderson. He had to, he had to get hands to that. He did. He also claims the rebound. The Wildcats, though, might, depending on how this game goes, they might start looking to crash. A little bit of a collision there near the 25-yard line, and hopefully nobody's hurt.
Malzicki with the slide tackle to knock it away, ruled clean, but he's the one down, so I'm not sure if there was a contact after the play. He's up now, which is a good sign.
Yeah, he came in with a sliding tackle and came underneath the Wildcat player. I couldn't tell. I can't remember if it was Knox or Knoll, one of the two. And I thought he might have been hit in the head by the Wildcat players. The Wildcat player went down, and so maybe that was the reason for his slow start and slow ability to get back up. At first, it looked like he might be holding his leg, but I think it might be his head.
Of course, any head injury whatsoever, they're going to be extra cautious. He'll come off the pitch, and they'll get him checked out.
Yeah, they're looking at his leg, which is I can't believe I'm going to say this, but that's a good thing, right? Because, of course, that means it's not a potential head injury, but you got to be careful when you come in sliding on this turf. Sometimes that turf can catch you, can catch a cleat or something, and so what you expect your foot to go a certain direction, and it doesn't.
Prouty gains control, finds Knoll, almost lost it on the turn, ended up delivering a fairly good pass on the far touchline. Oliat unable to get there first. Nice sliding play there by the Tiger defense, and now a quick throw into Knoll. Fakes coming back, brings it into the box. One man to beat coming from behind. Finds a way to get it to the middle. Fires a shot, left foot. Knox goes high. He did a nice job of getting into space and turning and firing, but got way under the ball.
Yeah, way under the ball, and his hips were not facing towards goal, Skip Newton. He needs to get those hips turned so that he can actually put something behind that and keep it down. When you're a little kid, you have to be able to, there's certain things they tell young soccer players about how to kick the ball or how to pass the ball or the ball's going to go wherever your hips are faced. And he'll have to do that next time when he takes the shot.
Prouty with space in the middle, but plays it safely to the far side, right in front of the Wildcat bench. Once again, Wildcat possession, domination thus far. They're content to play this along the back line, keep possession as we're just past the 10th minute. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead. Here's a far shot right at Anderson.
Yeah, it didn't trouble Anderson at all there, but this possession by the Wildcats, Skip, it's kind of disheartening. I mean, it's disheartening if you're the other team and the Wildcats just continue to maintain this possession, put 5, 10, 15 passes together, and all of a sudden you're just chasing. That's got to be challenging for the other team.
That step up and blast down the pitch will not result in a goal kick. They're saying that it went out beforehand. I was about to say that's the deepest the ball's gotten this half, but no go on the goal kick. Throw in is the result.
Challenge, I think, for the Wildcats is to play good fundamental soccer here, Skip. They have a lead. They have the ability to hold on to that lead maybe and score some more additional goals. Just don't be too fancy. Don't make any dumb mistakes. Don't do anything that's going to give the Farmington Tigers a chance to climb right back into the game.
Nice play defensively, keeping that one out of the penalty area. Tapa controls. Gentilla. Double team wins the throw. And he'll leave that one for Tapa.
Players, referees, and coaches all fighting that sunshine that's coming from the west side of the stadium. So imagine there might be a few situations where we get some calls that we're not 100% sure about, in part because we might see a little bit better than the referee in the center of the pitch.
Yeah, the sun is setting earlier, but as stated before, it's still plenty warm. 80 degrees. Unseasonably warm for this time of year. I think we'll expect that cool down sometime next week. So a week from now, we could be singing a different tune, but hot one on the pitch today.
No problem for players of either team to get loose then, Skip. Easier to get loose in warmer weather, perhaps?
Looks like we have another foul called against the Wildcats. That'll be their second. Free kick by one of the center backs, Malzicki. Or excuse me, number 2, Jake Giddings. Probably replaced Malzicki on that injured ankle earlier. Knox. Thought he was going to lose possession, but did a nice job winning that one back, staying with it.
That sequence for Knox reminded me of something I would see out of a Disney movie, Skip. It was like he was just dancing around and going all the different directions. I can't believe he maintained possession.
Noel got his foot a little high. They'll call the dangerous play. Prouty takes that one out of the air right to Noel. Oh, a beautiful pass. Holiat's on it. He's got Knox in the middle. Gets by one guy into the penalty area. Feeds that one across. The defense plays it, but it's left right there on the foot. Shot blocked, and the rebound, a goal! Gentilla there to clean up. Finds it right on his foot. He had the whole side of the net to shoot at, and he took advantage. It's 2-0 Wildcats.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, pass it to a teammate, because that's exactly what Knox did. Knox got the ball over to Gentilla. Gentilla pokes it home. And the Farmington Tiger defense just that time just overwhelmed by the sheer volume of Wildcats inside, I would say even inside 3 yards away from the edge of the goal line, and that was just looking at just a little bit too easy and just not quite enough defensive intensity.
Yeah, Oliat broke past his guy on a beautiful pass there by Eric Knoll. And when he fed it across, there were 2 defenders and 2 Wildcat attackers, but as soon as it went off the foot of that main attacker, Knox, it left Gentilla wide open on the near side. Ball found him. Here's Knoll again, and he finished well. Knoll dispossessed in the box as Farmington squelches that opportunity that was developing.
Yeah, it was great defense by Wegworth. Knoll is a crafty player in terms of using his stature and his low center of gravity to create opportunities, and Wegworth did a great job that time of taking the ball away, not committing the foul, and putting it out into safety.
The assist to Darius Knox, the time 14:31.
So Gentilla from Knox. 2 more Wildcats get on the score sheet.
And Rudy Cabrera, number 21.
Oh, a nice pass. Top of the great run near side. Pressure from behind. Oh, the slide tackle takes him out in the box, and that should result in a penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty. He did not take the ball. He went through Tapa's legs. And I cannot imagine this is not going to be a penalty for the Wildcats. It was a rather unnecessary challenge. I'm not sure exactly what the conversation is between the referees on the right side of your screen. It's just off the right side of your screen. I don't know why, if they're having a conversation just to make sure that it was what we thought it was, but yes, the referee.
Should be issued against the Tigers.
Okay, a yellow card caution is part of it. that's what we were talking about.
That's called on Mua Congo, number 20.
So an opportunity here for the Wildcats to really put some space between them and the Farmington Tigers, Skip.
Tapa was the victim of that slide tackle in the box. He will be asked to take the penalty.
How do you like that, Skip? Do you like Tapa taking this penalty, or do you think somebody else should be doing it?
Yeah, as long as he's okay, I'm fine with it. I mean, he was a little bit injured and clearly not a problem. The goal is scored. It's 3-0, a beautiful penalty there. No chance for Anderson and net. Tapa slams one home, and the Wildcats are dominating early.
And the reason I bring that up, Skip, is I've seen players from time to time being taken down and you know, in a heavy challenge or be tripped or whatever, and sometimes either their adrenaline's up or their legs aren't fully, they haven't worked out the kinks of what just happened to them, and so every so often I wonder if the player taking the penalty should be another guy on the field, another teammate to give that guy. But as you say, if he's ready to go and he feels confident, why not give it to him?
And I can see the scenario of the game, the current status also being a factor there. But when choosing who to take that, if it's a close, tough game, you're going to want your best penalty taker firing on that penalty. But in this case, a 2-0 lead, you're already 16 minutes in. Yeah, why not let them have it? Shot is considerably wide there by Oliat.
I suppose Tapa being an outside back, not getting a chance to score too many goals probably matters too, right? I mean, maybe if Eric Knoll is taken down in the box, maybe that ball goes to someone else.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. And that is Tapa's first goal of the season, so congrats to him. Right now, the Wildcats moving the ball around, passing, creating opportunities almost at will. Another one just fed across, hoping to find somebody in blue. Passing lanes shut down there by the Tigers defense. I don't think that was deliberate. I think it just went right to him, and his instincts of grabbing the ball took over.
Yeah, the Farmington fans all trying to have a good chuckle over it. I think the referee has to give Molcheski, I think he has to give him a yellow card caution.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
Does. He knows. He says, "I know you didn't mean to do that. I know you didn't mean to do that necessarily, but I have to do it. I have to give you a yellow card caution for a handling offense." So another PK opportunity here for the Wildcats.
And the goal is scored on the penalty. Knoll gets his second of the game.
We shouldn't discount the ability of the Wildcats to take some penalties here and confidently finish them. How many times have the Wildcats in the last few years, Skip Newton, how many times has this Wildcat boys team ended up in penalties in sections? And in the last 3 years, it's been 2 out of the last 3 years, and they've ended up on the wrong side of both of those penalty shootouts. So, maybe that's a good sign perhaps for this side.
Yeah, exactly. That is something that we've seen in the past. It's never gone the way of the Wildcats, at least in our history together as the broadcasting team. So, yeah, if they're confident, I know they've been successful on several penalties so far this season. I don't know if they've had any saved or missed, but it's something to say when you've got some guys that you can rely on at the stripe. Talking about the Farmington player, Malzicki, that grabbed that ball almost as if he meant to, clearly accidentally though. I remember a game I was watching as a parent years ago, one of my daughter's games, where it was the same thing where the ball went right and she grabbed it, and she was also a basketball player, and I think it was just that instinct of, oh, I get a rebound, and the look of guilt and like, oops, as she dropped the ball was priceless. And what are you going to do, right? I hopefully he can kind of laugh it off because, it happens.
It does, and at younger ages, of course, it's always the goalie in the second half, right? It's always when you're playing U9, U10, U12, 11, it's always for club soccer, it's always the second half goalie who acts sometimes playing when he or she is playing defense will pick up the ball and hold it, thinking, just instinctively, and of course that's not what they need to be doing.
Jones plucks that one out of the air. Nice touch. Gentilla battling for possession a couple of times, has that one deflected off him. Throw in here coming for Ruiz.
Challenge to the Wildcats is still to maintain the cutting edge. I know that maybe sounds a bit strange coming from the ETV crew, but Wildcats need to make sure that they stay crisp, stay focused, play good fundamental soccer. Don't try to be too cute. Don't try to be too fancy. Don't give the Farmington Tigers the ability to get back into this game by turning the ball over or creating opportunities for them.
Also gives Coach Butili an opportunity to perhaps give some bench players a little more time than usual. It's a hot day. They've got a big week coming up next week, the final week of the regular season. You certainly don't want to see one of your core 11 to 13, 14 players injured in a game where you're already up 4-0 and you're only halfway through the first half. Long ball played out of the air nicely by Hanley. Knox with a quick throw. This is Knoll. He'd be looking for a hat trick today. Knox with a nice job getting that one in the box. Gentilla, nice step. Knoll, left foot, hat trick. High.
Crossbar. Football crossbar.
My score sheet says that's at least 11 shots. I think the scoreboard is falling a little behind there with some of these rapid fire shots the Wildcats have put on, but the attack has been relentless here really since that first goal was scored. It was a slow start for both teams, a lot of play in the middle third, but the last 11 minutes absolutely dominated by the Wildcats.
Yeah, for the Tigers, the first thing they've got to do is get possession of the ball, and that's going to be hard against these Wildcats, but especially with the way the Wildcats press Skip Newton. But the reality of it is if they don't get possession of the ball, they're not going anywhere. So they've got to get possession of this ball. They've got to open up to each other and create passing lanes. If they don't do that, they're just going to be chasing the Wildcats for the next 60 minutes.
Just a brilliant chest there by Gentilla, leaving that one for Tapa. And I would call out the substitutions coming in for the Wildcats, but it's basically the entire bench. So every player on the bench in a blue uniform, for the most part, has now entered the game. One nice number to see out there, number 14, Asher Brunette, back from injury. So that's a key.
Multiple substitutions, both teams.
I also see Colin Bray. We'll get some more names as we catch those jersey numbers.
Johnson, number 5. Colin Bray, number 4. Eddie Couture Valencia, number 16.
Graham Johnson in the game.
Number 13.
Eddie Couture Valencia also.
Number 12.
Number 12, Ryder Brandner.
Jake Sondag, number 8.
Harley Gray, number 13. Jake Sondag as well.
10 back in, Okongo, number 20. Checking in, Devin.
Jones across. Valencia.
Back in is
Shot is wide.
number 7.
Yeah, I think what's making this hard for the Tigers is, there's maybe several things that are making it hard for the Tigers, but right now the Wildcats are relentlessly pressuring the Tigers to create turnovers and create defensive pressure. They're not letting the Tigers bring the ball up the field and then locking in, say, at the midfield stripe. They're starting as soon as the Tigers put the ball in play, and the Tigers have got to find a way to counter that. Skip, they've got to find a way to beat that. Otherwise, as I said, the Wildcats will be having them chase for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the game now. We're down an Axelrod, as we talked about Hannon Axelrod missing, but we added one Axelrod, Mason Axelrod, number 18, onto the pitch. I'm not entirely sure if this is his first varsity appearance, but
Let's say that it is.
It's a little more fun that way. so.
Congratulations, Mason Axelrod. Nice to see you. Have fun.
He's playing on the near side again, number 18. You see him in the center circle there. Meanwhile, that's Paulson on the far side. Nice step up defensively. Bray is there. Another aggressive slide tackle by the Tigers defense.
Heath Garrett getting up with a noticeable limp. One of the senior midfielders for the Tigers. See if he's able to shake this off, but he went into a challenge and took the worst of it. Another challenge here for these Wildcats is you see the ball get turned over there by the Wildcats. That was Gray, who was dispossessed. He gets it back, though. Sends it back. The Wildcats here, challenge for them, Skip, is, can they maintain that cutting edge here with the substitutes, with the players off the bench? Can they be as crisp? Can they be as fundamentally sound?
I imagine that's what the coaching staff is looking for, right? They want to see, all right, how do these guys play together? How do they handle coming into a game where it's new to them, but Wildcats have a big lead. He wants to see that same intensity, pretend the game is 0-0, 0-0, and see what happens. Good tackle on the far side, but off the Wildcats, it'll be a throw here. The final 14 minutes of the first half. Dominated at Wildcat Stadium by Eagan.
I want to say thanks to everybody joining us on the live stream or on ETV. Thanks so much for making us your Wildcat sports home. Thank you to all of you joining us from south of County Road 50. Encouraging signs, nascent perhaps, but encouraging signs for the Tigers, Skip.
Able to get the ball down in the attacking third. They'll have a throw after that clear. Valencia, nice job winning that one. Up to Sondag. Physical play over on the far side. This will result in a Wildcat throw.
Hope you enjoyed some of ETV's presentation of Teacher Appreciation Day here at Wildcat Stadium. The girls will have their teacher appreciation presentation between the two games, between the boys and girls varsity games.
There's Axelrod. Back to Gray. Gray a little bit slow on that cross. Allowed the Farmington defender to get a boot on it. Valencia looks to take his guy one-on-one. Feeds it to the middle. Just can't quite connect there with Johnson.
One thing we could say for Axelrod is this is his home debut.
That is true.
Home debut, which is huge, right? Playing in front of Grandma and Grandpa here on ETV. I mean, who doesn't want to play on TV?
For those wondering, they are cousins, not brothers. Hannon and Mason. Farmington throw in front of their bench. Brunette. Axelrod got up on him. Nice job getting it back. Johnson with it. He's got space. Brandner. Across to Paulson, looking for Bray. Feels like Johnson's all over the place. He's over on the far side there. Sondag with a quick run, but shielded off that one. Can't quite get there in time.
Noticeable change in intensity for the Farmington Tigers. They've gotten a little more physical in the last few minutes, Skip, maybe a little bit quicker to the ball. Not every time, but certainly seem to be cranking up the intensity as the Wildcats substitutes have come out onto the field.
Rare touch there for Rojas. Johnson touched that, but it went off the center ref, so Saeed Uzagard will drop that one back to Wildcat possession.
Wildcats doing a nice job now of switching the field. It's one of the things early in the game that it seemed like they weren't switching the field quite as often or quite as cleanly as they could have been. Doing a nice job of it now, Skip. From side to side, that ball went from one side of the pitch to the other.
Oh, and that touch there was the first one by a Tiger in at least 8 or 9 consecutive passes. Again, the time of possession just dominated by the Wildcats. Sondag with a nice job knowing he had won the throw.
Tigers' last game was a 0-0 draw against the Lakeville South Cougars. Their next game, interestingly enough, Skip Newton, their next game on the 30th against the Prior Lake Lakers. They will host Prior Lake at Tiger Stadium. Prior Lake, interestingly enough, the one team to beat these Eagan Wildcat boys. So we'll see what happens when the Tigers and the Lakers match up.
Yeah, the Lakers, the one blemish so far on the schedule, of course. Wildcats coming in, 10 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. That coming at the hands of Prior Lake right here at Wildcat Stadium. And there's a foul from behind. Quick restart here for Farmington, looking to make something happen, but the Wildcat defense doing a nice job. Bodies down. Help each other up. Nice job, boys. Good sportsmanship there.
Yeah, legs got tangled, nothing in that. Nice to see both players recognize the fact that there's nothing in it.
Jake Biddings, number 2, and number 27, Andrew Aliyah.
Final 7.5 to go here in the first half. Once again, dominated in that first 20 by the Wildcats. Goals scored in minutes number 7, 15, 17, and 19. The last 2, both penalties. Tapa and Knoll making good on their opportunities from the penalty stripe. Turn and fire is not able to put that one out front for a shooting opportunity, so this will be a quick goal kick, and Rojas wastes no time.
It's not a shot on goal, Skip, but that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the first shot by the Tigers in this match. And the official scoreboard has updated that, yeah. So first shot for the Tigers comes with only 6.5 and change minutes to go here in this first half. That's just not a trend that's going to be positive for them. We talked before about their inability to score goals and being their biggest problem. Seems like it's still happening.
Trying to create something deep here. Rojas well off his line already, so an easy play there. Quickly throws it out to Bray. He drops it for Paulson on the far side. Little misfire there with Valencia.
Substitution now for Farmington. Into the game, A.J. Alvarado. Number 4.
Of course, the Farmington Tigers not in the Wildcats section, with the Wildcats 3-0 in their section, 5-1 in their conference with a 2-game lead. over the Rosemont Irish, and of course they hold the tiebreaker against the Rosemont Irish, given a head-to-head victory. So I'll have to do the math at halftime, Skip, but it's coming down to the point where maybe the Wildcats might not have to go to the last game of the season, last conference game of the season, to realize a conference title.
Yeah, as we talked about, a busy week. I believe they have 3 games and 4 nights next week, starting Monday at Eastview. Of course, they are a Section opponent. And then Wednesday, they're hosting Apple Valley, another Section 3 opponent. Yes. And then finishing up Thursday with St. Thomas Academy, if my memory serves.
Yeah, well, your memory serves you very well, Skip, because that's in fact the schedule, and these Wildcats will have, so after this game, they will have 2 additional games, both in section and in conference, and then a non-conference game against the cadets from St. Thomas Academy. But we'll see if the Wildcats have to go to the last game of the season before they can claim their conference crown.
Nice play getting it deep by the Tigers. Defense all over that, but they're still trying to apply some pressure here as they win that one out of the air with the head. Congo had it long, one into the box. Nice job by Rojas coming out. He'll roll the restart quickly. Nice tap forward. Axelrod, he's got Tapa overlapping. He's going to go deep. Johnson and a wide open teammate. That one's going to be dangerous to play to Sondag. The flag is up. I don't believe that is a offside call. I believe that is a penalty. The AR having no problem giving that thing a waggle and making the call.
What's amazing is, we see a lot of soccer, Skip, and we see it, we see plays like this all the time, and we don't see that call made. And we've now seen it twice in this first half.
Indirect free kick, Tigers.
Somehow that ball gets through almost everybody. Brunette plays it back a little dangerously. Rojas can't chase it down. He couldn't pick it up. A little bit either careless or just mishit. If you're going to see something like that happen, it needs to be in a 4-0 game. And thankfully, it wasn't on goal.
And this corner kick for the Tigers, easily their best opportunity of the half.
And the only corner of the half for either team. It gets by. Here's Valencia. He is offside.
Whistle on the play. Offside. Wildcats. Direct free kick upcoming.
Good call by the assistant referee. He waited. He did the right thing mechanically. He waited till Valencia actually touched the ball and played the ball before raising his flag. Well done by the AR.
Free kick plucked out of the air by the Wildcats, but immediately turned over. This is Alvarado playing it deep into the corner. Oh, a nice nifty play there by Brandner. Got Gray, Sondag, back to Gray. Johnson with it, goes long. He's onside now. Sondag all alone with a breakaway, looking for the easy one. He taps it home. Sondag right up the gut. A beautiful play. And in the 38th minute, the Wildcats have goal number 5.
That was well worked by the Wildcats. An excellent play. He stayed onside, made sure he was kept onside by not one but 2 Farmington Tiger defenders. And it was a beautiful, well-weighted pass right where it had to be. Any harder, the keeper would have been able to come off his line and claim it. I'm not sure why we would allow the kickoff, given that there are Wildcats on the wrong side of the field.
I was wondering that as well. Like we're still celebrating and the play is resumed.
So the the center referee pointed to his chest and said, "I think I made a mistake," and blew the whistle just a little too fast. Clock hasn't started yet. Well, 38 in the 38th minute, Sondag makes it 5-0, and the Wildcats are romping.
We'll get to that assist when the official announcement comes through. I didn't quite see who made that pass, but it was a gorgeous one. Might have been Johnson.
Yeah, I think it was Johnson, but again, we'll have to wait for the official. But it was so well weighted because if it had been any harder, Anderson could have easily come off his line and taken that ball away from Sondag. And if it was any softer, the defenders would have been able to take it away from him.
Eagan Wildcats. Number 8, Jake Sondag. The assist, number 5, Graham Johnson.
And it is Graham Johnson officially with the assist. So both Sondag and Johnson get on the score sheet.
Goal scored by Jake Sondag.
5 goals by 4 different Wildcats.
37-50
Only 3 assists because of the 2 penalties.
remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
Final minute of the half. Gray plays that one deep.
Tigers look a little bit shell-shocked with 5 goals tallied by the Wildcats, but we've seen teams climb back into these games, Skip, but they've got to have a plan. They've got to do something. Right now, the offensive plan seems to be boot the ball and let Okongo try to do something with it. Well, that's probably not going to get them the results that they're looking for. Now, maybe they've cashed this in and they've said, okay, we're not going to, we're probably not going to come back and make a game of this, but in situations like this, I think every coach looks at it and says, I need to do something here that's going to get some momentum for my guys, help me get ready for the next game. And that's what I think the Tigers should and are likely going to be doing here in the second half.
Final seconds here, the first half. Valencia pouring on the speed, but he's not going to get there in time, and that will be the end of the first half. One dominated mostly from start to finish by the Wildcats.
40 minutes of play.
First goal scored, minute number 7, courtesy of Eric Knoll, the team's leading scorer. A nice assist from Zayan Oliat.
Will be 10.
Minute number 15, another goal by the Wildcats. Owen Gentilla this time. Assist goes to Darius Knox. And then we had the first penalty in the box. This was a yellow card committed by number 20, Mua Congo. And the concurring penalty shot was scored. That was off the foot of number 2, Sian Tapa. And then another penalty in the box, the handball mistake made by Brody Malzicki. That was in minute number 19. The goal scored by Eric Knoll, his second of the first half. And then here in the 38th minute, goal number 5 on a beautiful breakaway. The pass by Graham Johnson to Jake Sondag. It is 5-0 all Eagan here in the first half. We'll be back for half number 2 with Nathan Cron and myself, Skip Newton. You are watching Wildcat Soccer on Eagan TV. to Wildcat Stadium. It's boys varsity soccer here in the South Suburban Conference. Your Eagan Wildcats with a massive lead over the visiting Farmington Tigers, 5-0. My name is Skip Newton, joined by my broadcast partner, Nathan Cron. Nathan, a dominating performance in the first half for the Wildcats. Do you think we're going to even see a whole lot of the starters in the second half?
I think the coaching staff will want to see the starters on the field for at least a good 10, 15 minutes to make sure that there is, continuity. If you're used to playing for big chunks of the game, 30 minutes in a game, 40 minutes in a game, to go and play 20 and not ever see the field again, that can feel a little strange. I think they want to stay in their rhythm. I imagine the starters will play a good 15 to 18 minutes of the game as they are wont to do. And for the Tigers, I think they're going to throw everything they can at the wall and see what sticks, spaghetti style, and see if they can do something to kind of break this funk they're in terms of creating some offense. They seem to be lying back, trying to create that quick counter, but the Wildcat defense just too quick and taking away those one-on-one opportunities with other players helping out the defender. I think the Tigers have just got to get possession of the ball, string together 5 or 6 touch passes and create some offense.
Yeah, it's a tough mountain to climb here, down 5-0 at half, especially when you only get credited with 2 shots on goal in the first half. The Wildcats on the scoreboard have 10. My numbers say 13, but really the scoreboard says it all at 5-0. That was as dominant as the first half was. Wildcats really capitalizing on their opportunities. 2 of those goals off of penalties. 2 goals in the first half by Eric Knoll. 1 goal on penalty by Sian Tapa, another goal by Owen Gentilla, and the final goal in the 38th minute, Jake Sondag on a clean breakaway. Final 40 has officially started. The Wildcats in blue going right to left. Sun setting behind us, the Farmington Tigers in white going left to right. And as you predicted, Nathan, the starters are back on the pitch. So we'll see how long that lasts. But the idea, keeping them sharp, keeping them game ready. They'll have 3 more games next week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, to get ready for sections the following week. So the season wrapping up quickly. Here's Nolan in the penalty area. Defense comes over to play that one nicely for the Tigers.
I like Noel there. Did you see what he did, Skip? The defender went to the outside with the ball. Noel intentionally went to the inside. He knew he wasn't going to get the ball, so instead of chasing the defender out with the ball, he spun to the inside in case that defender tried to turn and play the ball back to his keeper for help. I think that's what Noel was doing, and if that was brilliant.
Prouty, pass intended for Oliad. He stole it, then nifty shot headed for the far post, a diving save, nicely played there by Drake Anderson. Oliat once again with possession. Nice cut in the inside, but the ball went into touch.
Team still battling the sun setting down here behind the press box in the grandstand area. So you can see the Tigers with their hands to their eyes trying to fight that sun off.
Yeah, any corner kicks from this side of the pitch will be a real challenge to the goalkeepers should that happen. Tesdall, haven't really had to say his name much, along with most of the back line. Battling there, this is Eddie. Back to Tesdall. Pass across. A little too slow. Nice job by Tapa recovering there as Congo was trying to take advantage of that opportunity. And we've got a foul called on the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's the kind of pass, Skip, I think the coaching staff for Eagan would say, let's not do those kinds of things, right? Let's not, let's stay crisp, let's stay fundamental, aspirational passes across, on the ground with the defense or the other team nearby. Let's stay away from those.
Shot from 40 yards out, low into the bunch of players there, and quickly out with that are the Wildcats. I know we'll take an opportunity in the second half to talk about additional future events on Eagan TV as we get a chance. Here's Knox. Feeds it across, wide open, but there's an offside flag up.
Wildcats offside.
Opportunity
Indirect food kickoff coming.
does not progress there, but as I was saying, I do want to talk about some future events. Of course, this is game one of a doubleheader. We've got the girls varsity against the Farmington Tigers coming up shortly after 7 p.m., but I would be amiss if I did not bring up last Friday's huge football win against Lakeville South. Talk to me just a little bit about that game and how that came to be.
Yeah, the Lakeville South Cougars came to Wildcat Stadium riding a 10-year, that's right, a 10-year winning streak against the Wildcats. But as the Cougars found out, these are not your granddad's, Wildcats, so to speak. And the program, the culture, everything has changed. As you see, Okongo feeding his teammate, nicely done. Rojas has to come out and play that. I was going to say the Lakeville South Cougars took a 2-touchdown lead early in the game. There was some weather in the area. We took a lightning delay, about a 40-minute lightning delay, which really played havoc with all sorts of scheduling issues. We had, Randy Shaver presentation at halftime, so it was a lot of moving parts. But after the lightning delay, the Wildcats came out and reasserted themselves, ended up taking a lead by a touchdown, outscoring the Lakeville South Cougars as that ball comes across to Rojas, and he confidently claims the Wildcats ended up taking a lead late in the game. A missed extra point comes back to bite the Lakeville South Cougars, and so the Wildcats have a lead. The Cougars, as Tapa comes, check it. Oliot spins to the middle, looking for Knox and Knoll on the run, but the Cougars end up getting a onside kick. And then an interception by the Wildcat defense late in the game seals the victory for the Wildcats. So they knock off the Wildcats, actually ranked a little bit higher than these Cougars, and knock them off. And the Wildcats are again in the top 10 in 6A.
Prouty with a good shot, nice save there. So a big win for the football Wildcats, and a huge game coming up at Lakeville North, the number 1 team in the state.
That's right, number 1 Lakeville North versus number 6 Wildcats. This Friday, that the Wildcats will absolutely have their work cut out for them. The Panthers from Lakeville North have beaten the Wildcats rather solidly over the last handful of years, and so much like the Cougars of Lakeville South, the Panthers enjoy quite the series lead. And then, of course, the week after that is homecoming here for the Wildcats. They will take on the orange and black Farmington Tigers.
Some good football action coming up. The Wildcats have really turned into a program that is a lot of fun to watch. Nice to see them competitive, and here the boys, of course. Oh, there's a nifty shot there, trying to pick that one out of the air. Really didn't have any other option. Had he been able to get that one even on frame, that would have been quite miraculous.
Yeah, I think I made the reference earlier about ESPN versus ETV, and that might have been a best play.
Knocks across, just a little behind. Tapa comes up, does a nice job staying on top of that one, not skying the ball up. Shot blocked, cross blocked. Prouty swung and missed. There's a collision there with Jones. Players go down, and I think this is going to be a foul on the Tigers.
Yeah, we're having a really hard time hearing the referee's whistle. The players don't seem to be having a problem with it or any difficulty, but we certainly are up here in the press box hearing that whistle, and so sometimes things happen and the players keep going, and we're not sure if the referee saw that or not. But prime striking area here for Nolan. He's on a hat trick, Skip Newton.
Yeah, he puts this one home. That's goal number 3. That could be the end of his night on the pitch. Of course, he's looking for those required 10 yards. Take the distance. A couple options here if he's putting this one on frame, which I'm assuming he's going to. He can try to hook it around the near side of the wall or play up, look for the far 90. He does the near side of the wall, but wide.
Didn't miss by much, but like you said, no problem at all there with Eric Knoll taking a shot, going for that hat trick. As a senior, you want to cash in whenever you can, and speaking of which, he's making things rather entertaining down there on the pitch.
think his desire for goal number 3 is pretty strong. Oh, nice speed. He gets tripped in the box. That could have been another penalty. I'm a little surprised it's not, other than the fact that we've already had 2 and it's a 5-0 game. I think that might have been a mercy let go, because I don't know how that wasn't a trip.
Yeah, I think Eric Knoll's talking to the Farmington defender, saying you got away with one there. That was, boy, oh boy, I'm not sure. There was certainly physical contact. The argument could be that if he's facing away from Knoll, he doesn't know he's there. Knoll runs past him and trips. He's holding his ground. The Tiger defender's holding his ground, so it's not a penalty. But it sure looked like one from here.
Prouty. Nice pass, onside. Strong touch. Somehow pulls it back. He's open. Looking to cross. Feeds it in. Gets by the defense. Oliat. Oh, a brilliant save. A good shot by Oliat. A great save by Anderson.
Anderson had no business stopping that ball. Absolutely none. What a brilliant opportunity. You see Anderson there on the screen, and he's got to be saying to himself, thank you, thank you, thank you, because he just did a magnificent job making his body big, using his hands, keeping it strong in front of him. Not only did he stop the ball, but he didn't concede a rebound. He didn't spill anything that would have given another Eagan player the opportunity to cash in. That was a brilliant save.
So keeping it to a 5-0 lead here with 30 minutes to go. Knox can't get past the last defender. Oliat tries to pick his pocket. Knox coming back. Ran into a little bit of trouble with Jones. Now Knox knocked down, but finds Oliat. Play resumes. Cuts it to the middle. A lot of Farmington jerseys in the way. Unable to get that one into the center area. Given goal there. No Eddie. Off his boot, and now a counterattack, a Congo on the far side.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice defense. Tapa limiting his ability to penetrate further down the pitch.
Yeah, for the Tigers, I think that you spend this half, regardless of the result, you spend this half doing things that you want to be doing in the next game, right? You use it basically as a scrimmage or as an opportunity to get better, and that's not going to be helpful.
Knoll looking for that hat trick. Blast a shot. Nice pass by Oliat. Another nice save, Anderson, but this will be a corner.
It's going to be a corner kick for the Wildcats.
First corner of for the Wildcats all game, Skip.
Yeah, they've really done a good job of putting these shots on frame, not shooting wide or needing to really produce corners, but a little surprising, right? When a game dominated with all the shots, that they haven't had more corners. This will be from the far side.
Gentilla, number 6.
A good thing for the goalkeeper, Drake Anderson. He'll be able to see this one. I believe Gentilla is taking this one, an outswinger. Short. Oliat, tough angle there to try and deflect that one.
Shot taken, Oliat.
On frame, I think he'd have been better off maybe even pretending, just playing the dummy and letting it go through. Or stopping it clean if he could, although it was a blast off the boot of Gentilla.
Substitutions for Farmington. Back into the game, number 3.
Yeah, that's one thing the Wildcats can work on here in this second half, Skip, is the ability to, be effective from set-piece plays. An opportunity there for a corner. I mean, you never know when you're going to need a corner in a section final or a state quarterfinal game, and to be able to confidently have a plan that works over and over again is reliable, that everyone knows is going to work for them is key. So, the Wildcats, it's not just the Tigers that are going to use this second half to work on getting better for next week. The Wildcats need to do the same thing.
And if a team can be really good on set pieces, especially corner kicks, that can be a huge advantage when you're playing against, those top teams in the state, and you get such limited opportunities to finish. A good set piece, a good corner can be the difference in a really close game. High off a Knoll. I believe we have a foul
Foul on the Tigers. The center referee not overly expressive, I think it's fair to say, with respect to which way he's pointing.
Whistle, foul called on
Yeah, foul against the Tigers, so
Wildcats.
Noel will stand over this one. I imagine he might go to goal on this one as well, Skip.
It's definitely within his range. Got a lot of teammates lining up outside the far post. Of course, they'll make their run as he approaches the ball. Does need a little more space to get to that 10 yards.
He needs another 2 yards.
He does not shoot, just somehow
Goal kick.
over the head of his teammate. That was Noel Eddy who moved up. So delivered nicely. Had that one been just a little lower, or maybe Eddy got a little higher, that was a really nice ball on the far post.
I like the effort by the Wildcats on the back post. That's one of the things that both the boys and girls teams can be better at in terms of attacking the ball in the air. It seems like, and I'm not sure if I would necessarily say this, but with complete certainty, but it seems like ever since U.S. Soccer got rid of headers for little kids, it seems like older kids have been less interested or less likely to use their head in a positive way with respect to trying to score, trying to make passes, knockdowns, things like that. But in any event, the Wildcats, both boys and girls, could be a little bit better in the air, and that's a good opportunity for Eddy to demonstrate his quality.
Tesdall's going to give that one a ride. Knox looking to flick that one deep, but no one's there. He probably would have been better off stepping back, playing that one with his chest, bringing it down. Prouty brings it down. Under control now. Gentilla, far side, nice move. Fakes the cross, left foot. Prouty's just going to play it into the box. Off of Oliat. Knox trying to get there, can't. Cleared. Just relentless pressure here by the Wildcats as soon as Farmington gets on the ball.
Safwan Mohammed, number 24.
Tapa. Gentilla into the middle, Prouty wide open. One touch. Goal kick.
The Wildcats do have so many good goal scorers, as we've talked about throughout this game, Skip, but also talk about that midfield pairing, that the Miklo Jones, Blake Prouty combination. I mean, it allows those players, gives those players good passes, through balls, things like that. And look how many balls those two eat up in the middle.
Yeah, they do a nice job really controlling that middle along with the defense, the back line behind them. Rojas does a nice job controlling that, of course, well outside the penalty area. Can't use his hands. Brandner beat. That cross intercepted by Tesdall, plays it out.
And cross by Solenko was one of the early positives here for the Wildcats, for the Tigers in this second half. Reminder, the next game here on ETV for both of these teams, for both teams, will be the Apple Valley game coming up on the 2nd. The girls actually play here against Prior Lake this Saturday.
Oliat crosses. Gentilla brings it down. Shields the ball and drops it for Tapa. He'll play it in. Knox. Nice play there, nice ball, nice delivery by Tapa. Knox in the right spot, just could not get on top of that one to play it down.
More aerial acrobatics by the Wildcats.
Last header for the Wildcats was Darius Knox, number 3. Out of bounds, goal kick, Farmington.
Imagine the Wildcat substitutes will start warming up here any moment.
Coming up on the halfway point of the second half.
For the Tigers back into the game, Lane Cook, number 13.
Noel turns and finds himself open. Noel's tripped.
Foul call.
Can't say I'm 100% sure why the Farmington defender there reacted that way because it was a fairly obvious, I thought it was a fairly obvious trip. Maybe just a bit of general frustration.
Oh, a nice give and go there. Gentilla blasts it high.
The shot taken by Owen Gentilla, number 6.
Nice two-man game there with C on top on the far side.
Yeah, the communication between those two players was absolutely sublime. It was, they were moving with one mind, even though there were two players. And really, when that happens, the defense is, and it doesn't matter how good your defense is, the defense is pressed when that happens.
Nice step up by Tesdal. Brandner can't win that one right away, but just his presence makes it impossible for the Tigers to play that one, and Eric Knoll's going to play that one back for Noel Eddy.
Look how the Wildcats have spread this field out. They've got players all over this field, Skip, and that's the kind of space and the kinds of challenges that they create. They have to make sure these passes are properly weighted, but look at the space these Wildcats have.
Oh, a nice run, right idea there by Oliat to Knoll, just a little too far. We are going to have a corner kick.
He's going to go out for a corner, so the second corner of the game for the Wildcats.
They play it short. Knoll from a different angle, fires a shot, tipped and saved by Anderson. I don't think he did anything but standing in the right place at the right time. Prouty with a brilliant touch there, just a bit unlucky. Happens to go right at Anderson, and once again controls the rebound. Here's Knoll attacking again out to Oliat. Oh, a beautiful spin.
And over the end line, as you say, what a play by Anderson. I want to thank the Eagan Wildcat Soccer Boosters. Would like to thank their platinum sponsors, Ansari's Chips Pickleball Club, the Eagan Hockey Association, Twin Cities Orthopedics, the Willie team at Edina Realty, and Wave Soccer. Thank you for your support of our Wildcats, the boys and the girls programs, and thank you for helping us provide a great opportunity for these young players to compete at this level.
Farmington really can do nothing but just boot it deep, and all it is giving possession to the back line, and the Wildcats immediately resume their counter attack. Sondag into the game, scored the last goal for the Wildcats in the 38th minute, trying to get number 2 here tonight.
Yeah, so Knoll has checked out. Imagine we won't see him. He will not have a chance to complete his senior hat trick, but there are more important things, I suppose, like staying healthy for the section run. No. For some reason, I thought Eric Knoll was a senior. I'm reminded by our crack statistician and production staff that, in fact, Eric Knoll is a junior. Shame on me. It just seems like he's a senior because he's been around so long, Skip.
Well, I'm playing at such a high level right away. We do get the pleasure of hopefully calling more Knoll action next season, but let's see how this season plays out first. Another corner here, the third of the half in the game. Oliak will send this one deep. Oh, it's delivered nicely. Unfortunately, Knoll is in the game.
I thought he'd left the game. That's why I thought Sondag had taken his spot.
He lost out to a height disadvantage on that corner, but it was a nice delivery there by Oliat. Now we're seeing a lot of the Wildcat bench players getting off the bench, and they're going to start loosening up over there, no doubt, to come in and finish this one off for the final 17 minutes.
Wildcat Booster Club would like to also thank their gold sponsors, Birchwood Dental, Raising Cane's, Coldwell Banker and Rami Quarmont, Dermatology Consultants, Eagan Arms, the Eagan Football Association, Escape With Us Vacations, Homestead Auto, Salvo Soccer Club, Teresa's, Triple Diamond Sports Cards and Collectibles, and the Urgency Room. Thank you for your gold level support of the Wildcats, both the boys and girls booster clubs. Thank you.
Tesdall. Into the box. Knoll, maybe his last chance. Contact, he goes down, no call. This will be a goal kick.
For the Tigers.
Yeah, no penalty shout there for the Wildcats. A little bit of professional respect between Knoll and the Tiger defenders. Just good hard soccer, and everybody falls down, and that means there's no foul. Now, I will say this, selfishly, as an Eagan, if you're an Eagan fan, you'd like to see the Wildcats maybe get one more, in the second half. I mean, just have something, another good thing happen here in the second half, but at the same time, it's hard to argue with the results.
They've certainly had their chances. They've had a couple of just point-blank shots where we felt there's no way that one's not going in, and then it was right at goalkeeper Drake Anderson. Did a nice job of not only making the save, but almost always controlling the rebound and not giving up a second opportunity. Here's Farmington, one of the first times they've been able to try to attack that back line. Shut down right away by the Wildcats. Heel pass, Oliad, he's going to get there. No.
Ball out of bounds. Rolling for the Tigers.
I'll admit, most of these starters playing a little bit longer into the second half than I would have assumed. It could be that it's because it's Thursday and they've got 3 days of no game action before 3 games in 4 days. Maybe they want to make sure they're sharp, but it should be only a matter of a couple minutes before most of them see the end of their evenings. Knoll tried to do a give and go there with Sondag, but Sondag could not hit the return pass as he was well defended. This one to Sondag. He's got 2 guys in the middle. One of them's Knoll, one of them's Oliat. Pass it across. Oliat behind him. He tracks this one down, saves it. Tried to pass it to himself behind the defender. Good defense there by the Tigers, shutting down that opportunity.
Yeah, nothing in that for me. I mean, there's contact, but I didn't see a foul there at all.
He's also the one that got
Good communication there between defender Noel Eddy and Rojas, the goalkeeper.
Well, this was.
Go ahead.
Oh, forgive me, Skid. I was going to say this result's certainly not going to impact negatively the Wildcats' ranking with respect to the voters. Certainly not going to make a difference in their section or conference race in terms of negative. So I mean, the Wildcats really took care of business, did what they had to do here tonight.
Really nice cross there. I believe that was Prouty. A lot of times you'll see that ball played deep, and they won't play it enough at an angle. They'll play it more towards the net, in which case, Anderson just comes off his line and easily picks it up. Here, he played that. He knew he had Ole out wide and played it, so there was zero chance for the goalkeeper to get there. Unfortunately, the offside flag was up, but still a really nice ball there by Blake Prouty. Ole out wide open on the near side. Down to the final 13. This game coming to you from the outstanding Eagan crew. Thank you so much. Cameraman Nick Mudd and Derek Badger and Jared Greenberg, our director, doing an outstanding job as always. We know the viewers appreciate being able to watch Wildcat athletics fall, winter, and spring, all school year long. You can see over on the far fence there the girls varsity starting to get ready. That game coming up after this one.
2 for the Tigers. Back in, Andrew.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've only got one more week, full week of the regular season left next week, and then we'll start section playoffs, and of course things go very quickly from there. And then it's not long until we have hockey season, and we'll have the Wildcats on the ice. We'll have the Wildcats on the hard court for basketball here on ETV. It's just, I mean, it's an absolute cornucopia of sports. We've got one of the best setups in the entire, I'd say in the entire state of Minnesota. The ETV crew, award-winning, great graphics, great camera work. We just, we can't say enough and say thank you enough to those folks for making Skip and I sound and look so good.
Cross easily headed out by Hanley. Bray into the game. Back to Brunette. One of the starters still in. Eddie, back to Brunette.
This is Brunette's first action back since his injury at Minnetonka. So to see Brunette, as you pointed out earlier, Skip, on the field, nice for the Wildcats.
If it blows up.
And you never know when depth on that back line will be needed. And Brunette was somebody, Asher Brunette got a lot of time a season ago, but this season really hampered by injuries. If he could get healthy here for the final week going into sections, that could be a nice piece off the bench for Coach Boutily. Nice touch by Johnson. Tapa with a good hesitation on. There was a collision there and a little injury there.
I think they're going to call a foul against Tapa. It looked like he knocked legs with one of the Tigers there on the far side. Clock is continuing to run. If this is an injury timeout, I understand the 5-goal lead in the second half is running time, but usually with injuries the referee will stop things. This time he has chosen not to.
Number 3.
Get a sense that both teams all game long have been a bit quizzed by some of the signals or lack of signals from the center referee. We'll see if the girls' game is any different with a new center referee.
That one's crossed. Nobody home there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, if your teammate's going to set the table, you need to be able to eat some of it, and the Wildcats have got to put themselves in a good position. And that's for the next 9 minutes and 20 seconds. That's what they should be doing. They should be making sure that they're doing all the fundamentals correctly, putting themselves in position to be successful. Whether it comes off or not is irrelevant. Just put yourself in the right position.
Nice play in the air there by Tapa. Up for Sande. He's got speed. Goes around his guy, plays it back. Valencia was caught in the centering pass behind him. Bray tracks it down. He's going to make a move. Then he plays it on the ground in the middle. Clear but not out. Johnson can't bring it down for a shot. That one's off the Tigers. This will be a throw. This is Grant Paulson. Valencia aggressively trying to win this one. Nice job defensively by the Tigers.
Running track, the southwest corner of the field. Be ready for the ceremony. We'll do another
reminder that teacher appreciation presentation will take place between these two games for the girls team, just as it did for the boys before their game. So we will be back in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after the boys game ends with the girls game, but you'll want to not step away too far because the girls presentation of teacher appreciation will be taking place.
Noel Eddy. Paulson wide open, touches to Valencia, drops it for Bray, left foot shot.
shot taken by Colin Bray, number 4.
I like that shot by Bray. I like that shot a lot. I mean, he did not hesitate. He stepped into it pretty well. Maybe got a little bit under it, but it had nice curve on it. If that's on frame, that's big trouble for Anderson. So I like that shot by Bray.
It's really hard to say this when a team has scored 5 goals in one half, but honestly, the play by Drake Anderson in goal for Farmington has been exemplary tonight. I've not had any goals where I thought, okay, that was soft, he should have made the save. There's been several fantastic saves. I mean, 2 of the goals were penalties. He had, no opportunity. I mean, it was just perfect penalty shots. And a game where I know it's going to be hard for him to feel good about it, having given up 5, but he's played really well.
Well, he's faced on the board anyway, officially 20 shots. You and I probably have a few more than that. And I would agree with you. If Farmington was looking for a man of the match, he would definitely be the candidate.
Valencia looking to fire one in or cross. He'll fire one low. That one's deflected off a Farmington defender, and they'll play that one safely into touch here with 6.5 to go. All 5 Wildcat goals coming in the first half.
I was going to say, excuse me, Skip, I was going to say credit to the Wildcats. They jumped on the Tigers early, did not give the Tigers a chance to get an early goal, get an early bit of momentum that might have carried them and buoyed them through this game. And, that's the mark of a team potentially that, dare I say it, can win a section.
Well, unless something drastic changes in their play in the next week, they should be not only the number 1 seed, but really the favorites to come out of the section. I mean, it'll be their section to lose. We've talked about historically, at least the last few years, that really struggling to play well in section play. But this, as far as my history with the Eagan Varsity Boys program, this is by far and away the best team that I've watched, and they are in a great position to really make some noise. And I'm looking forward to it and hoping that is the case, because it is a fun brand of soccer that they've been able to put together this season.
I would say, in my history with the boys program, Skip, maybe goes back just a bit before yours. I would say individual players for the Wildcats. I've seen a couple on the pitch that have been maybe more dominant or more incandescent compared to the team out here, right? But in terms of the entire team, right? The depth of this team, the depth of this squad, no question, this is the strongest. And, as we've said, Eric Knoll, this team doesn't really have a go-to guy, but Eric Knoll is pretty close to a go-to guy, and he's, if he repeats this performance, a performance like this next year, you might have to put him up there with the likes of some of the top 5, top 10 all-time Wildcat forwards, all-time Wildcat players.
He does lead the team in goals. He came in with 7. He has 9 now, so he has scored 9 times this season.
9 times.
9 times.
Wildcats at this point just maybe need to keep a clean sheet, Skip. Tigers would love to get on the board.
Nice step up there, Paulson. Sondag with speed, kept that one in temporarily. That one played back, but a little high, a little strong.
Real credit to these teams also. In a game like this that has been so dominant by one side, there'd be a tendency for the Wildcats not to be out as classy as maybe they should be, or the Tigers to become very frustrated. But this game's been very clean. It's been very clean. There hasn't been a whole lot of back and forth between these players, which I think is really a credit to both teams.
Yeah, very few fouls. We've seen games where it felt like the whistle was blowing constantly. Just a handful of fouls so far here in the second half. Of course, now that I've said that, we have players go down, but no call. And I think that was a decent no call right there. But yeah, I like the clean, still physical, but a nice clean game. One thing you will not question is the effort there by Mua Congo, battling several Wildcats, sacrificing his body, getting physical, trying to win that one.
Well, he's been the focus of the Farmington offensive attack in terms of playing long balls and hoping that he's able to do something for the Tigers. And I think if he was one-on-one with a defender, I think he would have a puncher's chance, if you will, if I could say it that way. of creating an opportunity, creating a goal. But I think the challenge is the Wildcats don't present a one-on-one defensive opportunity. The Wildcats, as I'll say, don't play fair. Right, there's good cover for these defenders, so that if, let's say, Paulson's matched up one-on-one, it's not just Paulson versus Okongo, it's Paulson with Eddie in the middle, or Brunette in the middle, or somebody else in the middle helping him, and that's just, at this level, it's just really, really hard to beat multiple defenders.
And a lot of times you'll see a defending, like a double team, where they just will not give that guy space one-on-one, or it's mostly one-on-two. That was a handball foul against the Wildcats. The AR right there put his flag up immediately.
Yeah, great opportunity here for the Tigers to try to center referee coming over. I'm not sure quite why he is. I mean, it seems like a pretty obvious handball violation. I don't know if he's asking if there needs to be a yellow card there or not, but it was, not a yellow card, it's just a hand, that's all. But here, Tigers an opportunity to get on the board.
This one's going to be taken by number 11. That's Alex Salenko. Plays it across on the ground. Tigers could not find a boot on that. Wildcats clear it, and Tapa's going to go long here for the final minute, as the Wildcats trying to finish off the clean sheet. Maybe get one more. Sondag is on. Thought maybe the second half would end like the first. He's taken out in the box. I don't know how that's not called.
No, certainly this was called, absolutely called. And Anderson he makes a play on the ball. I think he maybe gets a touch of the ball, but then as the ball gets away from him and Sondag is running, Anderson knocks him off his stride and takes him down. And honestly, he was going to score anyway, so why not try to take him down and make him make the penalty?
Now, what's the deliberate takedown in the box like that? I mean, that's at least a yellow.
Yeah, and the yellow card caution is being shown. Now, who's it being shown to? Is it being shown to Anderson or not? I think he is. I think he's showing him a caution. And so that means Anderson has to leave the game. The Tigers do not have on their roster, they do not have a backup keeper on their roster. I see somebody taking off a field player is going to be coming in. It's Jose Ruiz. No, check it. Ruiz was helping another player come on. Let's see. That's David Olson. Okay, he is listed as the junior varsity keeper. So I've seen this happen a couple times where the first action for the backup keeper is defending a penalty. And it's a cruel thing to do to poor David Olson, but he has a chance here to be a bit of a hero.
Sondag will take the penalty, the third of the game for the Wildcats, and he buries it into the far corner. So the goal by Sondag at the end of the second half, much like the end of the first half, thanks to a breakaway, number 6 for the Wildcats as they put the finishing touches here on a dominating performance.
And the time continues to run for the scoreboard because of the goal differential here in the second half. Ordinarily, we would stop the clock there while the teams get back in place, but instead the clock has been running, so we're actually down to 10 seconds. So a little bit of a discontinuity there between our graphic. And the Wildcats will wrap this one up. A dominating performance from start to finish for these Wildcats, Skip.
Yeah, they really took control early. It wasn't until like the 7th minute till they got that goal, but once they did, like the floodgates just opened. I mean, a goal in the 7th minute by the Wildcats, then goals again in minutes 15, 17, 19, and 38, and then right here in the 80th minute, the third penalty. Sondag gets his second goal of the night. That is it here for the boys varsity victory over the visiting Farmington Tigers. The next game of our doubleheader, the girls varsity, and then we've got teacher appreciation going on in between the games. So once again from Wildcat Stadium,
for a self-support.
6-0, the victory here for the Wildcats. The girls coming up next. For Nathan, I am Skip. You've been watching Wildcat Soccer here on Eagan TV.
Boosting Apple Valley.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we honor some of our teachers who have supported and impacted our athletes' lives. Teachers have one of the hardest jobs, as we are in a world with so many challenges, educating them in their specialty, keeping them thinking outside of the box to other options and solutions, supporting their growth, and encourage them to reach for the stars. Each student has selected a teacher they would like to honor tonight. Thank you, teachers. We appreciate you. And we have 20 players who have each selected a teacher. We'll introduce the player and the teacher that they are honoring, and then we will announce the comments that that player has made about that teacher. We start with Maddie Weisel, who is honoring Carmen Pareda, a Spanish teacher at Eagan High School. Carmen Pareda has been an engaging and wonderful teacher for Maddie in both Spanish and PAWS. Maddie truly appreciates how she has always believed in her. Maddie Weisel honoring Carmen Pareda. Next is Abigail McGowan, who is honoring Scott Paulson, a Dakota Hills Middle School math teacher, who always encouraged her to do her best. Thank you for making the class fun. Abigail McGowan honoring Scott Paulson from Dakota Hills Middle School. Next is Ella Horn, who is honoring Robert Toole, a social studies teacher at Eagan High School, who has been Ella's biggest supporter in everything she does. She visits him every day because she knows he will be able to boost her mood and bring a smile to her face. Ella Horn honoring Robert Toole. Next is Ellie Westerman, who is honoring Olivia Gesk, social studies teacher at Eagan High School, a teacher who Ellie can always confide in and trust. She made everyday learning a place where Ellie always wanted to be. She is an amazing teacher and an amazing person and inspires all of her students. Ellie Westerman honoring Olivia Gesk. Next is Anna Enning, who is honoring Dr. Adam Copeland, social studies teacher at Eagan High School, who has always been there to make Anna laugh every day and check up on her during her visit to PAWS. Anna Enning honoring Dr. Adam Copeland. Next is Evie Burke, who is honoring Gary Smith, physical education teacher at Eagan High School, that Evie chose because he has always been one of her biggest supporters. He is super funny and so kind, and he has always believed in her. Thank you for everything that you have done for her. Evie Burke honoring Gary Smith. Next is Tess Triplett, who is honoring Dalen Dirth, a physical education teacher at Eagan High School, that Tess chose because he is funny and makes classes fun. She appreciates the advice and support he provides in both her academic and athletic journeys. Tess Triplett is honoring Dalen Dirth. Next is Ava Leitenberg, who is honoring Lisa Langenhahn, a social studies teacher at Eagan High School, who always comes in to PAWS with a smile on her face and is never negative. She has taught Ava so many things that will help her, not just now, but in the future. Thank you for being such a positive influence. Ava Leitenberg honoring Lisa Langenhahn. Next is Kylie Weisendonner, who is honoring Todd Carlson, a social studies teacher at Eagan High School, who is always a positive influence for students to look up to. He is always super supportive, whether it is an in-school or out-of-school activity. Kylie Weisendonner honoring Todd Carlson. Next, Macy Bray is honoring Sarah Stensas, an English teacher at Eagan High School who has supported Macy all 4 years of high school. She is someone Macy can always count on when she has a question or needs help with something. Macy Bray honoring Sarah Stensas. Next is Audrey Siljan, who is honoring Isaiah Pritzel, an English teacher at Eagan High School, who can always make your day better with his positive attitude and pushes you to be a great student and an even better person. Audrey Siljan honoring Isaiah Pritzel. Next, Isabella Fall is honoring Ben Heil, a social studies teacher at Eagan High School that Isabella chose because he always created a fun learning environment and would form personal connections with his students. Thank you for helping your students look forward to learning and excited to go to your class. Isabella Fall is honoring Ben Heil. Next, Olivia Ehrenberg is honoring Cameron Sherritt, an English teacher at Eagan High School, who always makes her class fun, keeps us interested, and is super kind and supportive. Olivia Ehrenberg honoring Cameron Sherritt. Sienna Razga is honoring Michelle Zach, a social studies teacher at Eagan High School, who is one of the kindest and most supportive teachers, and she makes Paws feel like a family. She never fails to put a smile on Sienna's face. Sienna Razga is honoring Michelle Zach. Next is Kate Cron, who is honoring Amber Tesdall, a science teacher at Eagan High School, who always has a smile on her face and makes every day more enjoyable. She genuinely cares about all of her students inside and outside the classroom and makes everyone feel so welcome while also being an amazing teacher and mentor. Kate Cron honoring Amber Tesdall. Courtney Bumpers is honoring Bethany Barrios, a math teacher at Eagan High School, who is the most supportive teacher Courtney knows. She is so welcoming and loving to each and every one of her students. Hanging out in her classroom every day before school starts has never failed to put a smile on Courtney's face. Courtney Bumpers honoring Bethany Barrios. Next, Josie Seehafer is honoring Sue House, a math teacher at Eagan High School, who is always there to support Josie and all her students, never failing to make them feel heard or seen. Josie looks forward to talking to her every day and leaving her classroom with a smile. Josie Seehafer is honoring Sue House. Next is Angelina Illyria Yin, who is honoring James Cox, choir teacher at Eagan High School, who has made such a positive impact on Angelina's life as her director in encore and concert choir. Thank you, Mr. Cox. Angelina Illyria Yin honoring James Cox. Inga Jolstrom is honoring Stephanie Steinbraun, a Spanish teacher at Eagan High School that Inga chose because she is very supportive and helped her be the best she could. She is so nice and made Spanish one of Inga's favorite classes. Inga Jolstrom honoring Stephanie Steinbraun. And Mia Kosnick is honoring Julia Comer, a math teacher at Eagan High School. Mia appreciates how helpful she has been during all 4 years in Paws. She takes a little bit of stress out of the school day by getting super festive for every holiday and doing NYT puzzles with her students daily. Mia Kosnick honoring Julia Comer. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for all of our teachers who have been honored today on Teacher Appreciation Night for the Wildcats girls soccer team. Thank you, teachers, for all that you do.